When you have a cold or flu, you may cough a lot. The first thing you think of is to take something to stop coughing. Even without a cold, some people cough all day, every day, because they need to clear mucus from their lungs. Although they may look healthy, what most of us don't know is that these people have a fatal disease. They have cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is the most common fatal inherited disease affecting young Canadians. CF is a multi-organ disorder that affects primarily the lungs and the digestive system. A buildup of thick mucus in the lungs causes severe respiratory problems. In the digestive tract, CF makes it extremely difficult to digest and absorb adequate vitamins and nutrients from food. Thick mucus builds up and blocks the ducts of the pancreas, preventing enzymes which help digest food from reaching the intestines. About 1 in 25 Canadians carries a defective version of the gene that causes CF. When a child inherits this gene from each parent, the child will have cystic fibrosis.
Cystic fibrosis is a genetic disease, and it's caused by an abnormality in a channel that transports salt into and out of cells. People with cystic fibrosis lack this channel, and therefore in their lungs, the mucus is thick and sticky and traps bacteria. Cystic fibrosis is not contagious, but it is a progressive disease as over time the infection in the lungs damages the lungs beyond repair.
The most frequent symptoms of cystic fibrosis are really the lung or pulmonary symptoms. The patient will very often or most often have cough, has a very heavy secretion, difficult to mobilize these secretion, and will also easily get short of breath.
Yeah, I don't really know what it's like to have a set of normal lungs, so, but it's definitely tough sometimes when you're really sick. Even just lying in bed, trying to go to sleep, really having to put a lot of effort into breathing is hard work. The amount of time that I have to put into maintaining my health, and the fact that I have to plan my life a little more so than a regular 25-year-old would. Speaking to my boyfriend about the fact that if we have kids, he may be a single parent one day is a little bit tough for a 25-year-old girl to do.
There are still children that are taken by this disease, and that is horrifying. I can never really have just 100% peace of mind, and I just think that until an effective treatment or a cure comes along, I'll never be able to relax.
The mission of the Canadian Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is to help people with cystic fibrosis. The CCFF supports high-quality clinical and transplant care through grants to specialized CF clinics and transplant centers across Canada. People with CF are encouraged to regularly attend one of the 38 CF clinics as an essential part of their CF care and treatment.
Funding from the Canadian Cystic Fibrosis Foundation has been essential for the progress we've made on research. You know, it is because of the funding from the foundation that the gene was discovered in 1989. There has been significant change in the prognosis of the disease since the 1960s. An infant born in the 1960s could not dream to go to college or university. Most of them were expected to die in their infancy. So the treatment has changed tremendously over 40 years, from no treatment to presently many treatments that are controlling the disease.
CF affects me in every way possible. It's, you know, having to get up an extra hour before work, to making sure that I'm home on time to do my physio after work, and then having a break, and then doing my exercise, because that's really important. And then making sure that you're spending at least an hour before you go to bed doing your physio and taking your pills. If my friends ask me to come out even just for a coffee after work, sometimes I can't. I always have to be on top of it.
The Canadian Cystic Fibrosis Foundation helps people with CF principally by funding CF research. The foundation supports approximately 50 top-ranking research projects every year. Research funded by the CCFF is exploring all aspects of the CF puzzle, from investigating new treatments for fighting infection and inflammation in the lungs to finding new therapies to correct the basic genetic defect that causes cystic fibrosis.
Well, it's a wonderful time to be involved in the care of people with cystic fibrosis because the future looks very optimistic. We have medications right now which help control the rate of deterioration in the lung disease. But the next step is working at the root cause of the illness.
If I only have them for 10 years, then I want them to be 10 happy, good years. And so we need the medication. We do the therapy so that they can be happy, so that they can see what it's like to be a normal child, that we get a taste of what it's like to be a normal family. But in the same term, you know that it may not last forever. It may not last as long as some other families get.
Who knows how long I'm gonna live? I don't like to dwell on that because then what's the point? But it's still kind of in the back of my mind. You know, all I can do is work my hardest to keep myself as healthy as I can to hopefully benefit from some kind of cure or control that I'm hoping they're gonna get to, those researchers. So, yeah.
Well, cystic fibrosis is a progressive and fatal disease, and half the people with cystic fibrosis are expected to die before they're 40 years of age. As people with CF get older, they develop additional complications of their illness, such as diabetes, which add complexity to their already complicated treatment routine.
I now have moderate osteopenia, they call it, so weak bones because we don't absorb as much calcium and vitamin D that we need to keep our bones strong. We have, with CF-related diabetes, you can get problems with your eyes, your circulation, your kidneys, all sorts of stuff with the diabetes part of it, and then with the CF part of it. I mean, there's just so much. My pancreas doesn't work. It's really a multi-system disease.
We're really looking not only in finding a cure, but also trying to understand the impact of the disease on the other aspect of the daily living of the patient to improve not only their health, but also their quality of life.
To support the work of the foundation, countless volunteers, donors, and partners like King Canada participate in annual fundraising events like Shine-A-Rama, the Great Strides Walk in May, and the Fright Lights Glow Stick campaign at Halloween. CCFF chapter volunteers across Canada also organize a variety of community events to raise funds that are invested in CF research and care.
It's important for people to donate to CF because that's ultimately where we get a lot of our research from. That's ultimately why I'm here today, is because people have donated both their time and their money and their energy and everything.
It's the only way that we're going to find a cure is money. I mean, if you talk to any of the scientists or the doctors, their big issue is not ideas. They know how to fix this disease in a petri dish. They can do it.
You'll never know how much it means to the families to give of your time and of your money. It makes a huge impact.
At present, there is no cure for cystic fibrosis, but there's real hope.
You can have hope because you know it's coming and one day it will happen. And what a day that's going to be. I hope they're young when the cure comes, so that all of the what ifs, all of the worries, they just go away.
Please support the fight against cystic fibrosis. Help give the breath of life to Zachary, Brett, Kim, and other young Canadians who have CF. You can make a difference. Make a donation or volunteer today.
We'll find a cure like this, boom, and I don't have CF.